You are looking to buy your first home in the Austin area, but you have a limited budget. Well, on today's video, I'm going to give you 3 options that can start as low as $300,000, starting with Kyle, Texas. Now, where is Kyle, Texas located? It is approximately 30 to 35 minutes south of downtown Austin. It is an up-and-coming suburb with a lot of growth potential. There's a ton of commercial space that has moved to the area, and it is definitely becoming one of the top suburbs to move in the Austin area. In fact, the Census Bureau ranked it the 3rd fastest growing city in the entire nation. Kyle, Texas, I believe that is the Texas pie capital of the world, the Texas pie capital, so make sure to check that out. But again, one of the reasons why I want to mention it is because you can find homes for as low as $300,000 or below that. In fact, I have a client that was able to buy a home for $302,000, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,400 square feet. All his closing costs are paid for, and he was able to lock in a 4.99% interest rate. Again, he's only 35 minutes from his job, which is in downtown Austin, depending on the traffic, but he can get there in about 30 to 35 minutes, especially if he goes before the rush hour. And he was able to find a home for $300,000, and that is unheard of, at least for right now. Now, Kyle, in particular, you are also within 45 to 60 minutes from San Antonio. You have that option. You are also only about 15 minutes from San Marcos or New Braunfels, where there's a ton of amenities for you and the family. There's a Schlitterbahn there, which is a huge water park. You have all the attractions at New Braunfels. You have Green, which is a really cool downtown area where you have restaurants, you have wineries, you name it. One of the reasons why I wanted to mention Kyle is because of all the development that is coming to the area. You have a brand new movie studio coming in about 12 minutes south of Kyle, Texas. So that is definitely going to bring a lot of jobs. It is definitely going to bring a lot of opportunities, which for you as a first-time home buyer, that means that more appreciation for that area if all these businesses and developments come to the area. Another cool project that they have going on, which it hasn't been finalized yet, but they're planning on building these 80-mile paved trail where you can connect the suburbs to the commercial space, and it's going to make it into kind of like a very well-connected inner city or a mini city, to where you can go from your neighborhood to the Costco or from your neighborhood to the H-E-B or the movie theater, and you don't have to get into your car. Which, if you've been watching me for a while, you know that the Austin area and really all of Texas, you are going to be car dependent no matter where you go. Now, back to the home prices. So the median home price in Kyle, Texas is $350,000, but you can definitely find options right around $300,000 or below that if you don't mind going a little bit east. And there is a ton of new construction to choose from where you have warranties with your home. The house is brand new, so typically you don't have to worry about anything breaking down for the next 10 years to 15 years. So a lot of peace of mind when it comes to that. And then also you have easy access into the hill country. You know, you have Canyon Lake nearby, you have Wimberley, you have Dripping Springs, and all the amenities that brings, like wineries, distilleries, and things like that. So Kyle, Texas is definitely a suburb and a city to consider, especially if you're a first-time home buyer and you need to get into the market. If you're tired of paying rent and you're like, hey, I just need to get into the market, find a safe, up-and-coming area, wait 5 to 7 years, and then turn that equity that you have in that first home, pass it on to the second home, which might be closer to Austin. And that is the best way to go about it, because this is definitely an up-and-coming area. Okay, number 2, we are talking about Manor, Texas, which is located northeast of downtown Austin. And this is by far the closest suburb to downtown Austin, only 15 miles from downtown Austin. And a lot of people don't talk about it, and for a good reason. There isn't that much going on in this area. It is just a little suburb, very country. I wouldn't say that it's out in the middle of nowhere, not anymore, because you have Tesla only 12 minutes away, and Tesla is definitely expanding in that area, and they're definitely bringing a lot more development to that southeast area of downtown Austin. But Manor, for a long time, there were always rumors about a new H-E-B coming in and more commercial development coming to the area, but nothing would happen. Well, then finally, They have cleared the land. They already have plans of bringing a Popeyes, a Chick-fil-A, all these different restaurants that are needed to make the city or the suburb more attractive. And then also the city has approved it, but I don't know if HEB has released the news that they're actually building an HEB, but it has been approved. They're building a huge commercial center or strip center where it's going to have an HEB and all your big box retailers are on the area. So that's definitely going to make Manor a lot more attractive, a lot more accessible. The prices in this area are right around $350,000. I've helped a lot of clients buy a home here. It is definitely an option for you because of the proximity that you have into downtown Austin, into the airport, and to Tesla as well. Now, one of the downsides to Manor is the access. So typically the main way to come in and out of Manor is Highway 290. And that can get very, very congested, especially during the peak hours. So anywhere from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and then in the afternoon, obviously from 5 to 7 to 8 p.m. There is another option to get into Austin, but mainly North Austin. So if you're trying to go into the Domain, which is the main shopping center in North Austin, Palmer Lane will take you in and out, and you don't have to get on, well, you do have to get on 290, but you don't have to deal with 290 like going into the city. So that is another option, but for the most part, 290 will get very, very congested. Clients that I have living in Manor, this is one of their major complaints, is just getting in and out of Manor can be kind of difficult. But another benefit to this area is that there's a ton of new construction in the area. That's probably the only option or one of the few options. And there is a ton of growth coming to this area because of how much land there is available to it. Now, another benefit to it or an upside is that you have easy access to Houston, which from Manor, we're talking about 2 hours away approximately. You just take 290 straight to Houston. So Manor is definitely a consideration if you're looking to buy your first home because of the affordability and the easy access to downtown Austin. If you have any more questions about it, if you want to find out more about Manor, make sure to check out this video that I made about some of the communities in Manor, including an RV garage, which I believe that this is the only community that's building one, which is pretty cool. So you have to check out this video to check out that home in particular. And I'll be making a follow-up video about it. But you have literally an RV garage, which you can convert into anything. So just imagine the possibilities that you have with this home in particular. In fact, I think it was about a month or 2 months ago, there was a waiting list to have access to this home or to be able to build this home. So keep that in mind. Okay, number 3, we're going to talk about Hutto, Texas, which is approximately 30 miles northeast of downtown Austin. And this is probably by far my favorite suburb or up-and-coming suburb, and also on this list because of the potential that it has. And one of the things that I'm going to mention, recently Tesla just opened up some warehouse space in Hutto, Texas. That is a great sign for the city. You also have a $17 billion plant being built just 12 minutes east of Hutto, Texas. So that is huge news for the area. Obviously, that this is not anything new, but it is definitely something for you to consider if you're looking to buy your first home in this area. $17 billion investment. Tesla just opened up a brand new warehouse, or they just bought warehouse space in this area. And then you're really close to Round Rock, Texas, which, if you don't know about Round Rock, is probably the largest city outside of Austin in this area, the largest suburb outside of Austin. It is probably the more established suburb outside of Austin. Even though you're in Hutto, which is still a small town and really not for long, you still have easy access to Round Rock and everything that it has to offer. You have the largest indoor water park is in Round Rock. You have a minor league baseball team there, which has a ton of activities for you and the kids. In fact, I have 4 families that I have helped find a home in Hutto, and they are only 10 minutes from that baseball park. And they have all summer long, it is a huge, huge amenity for you and the kids because they have a ton of activities. They have Star Wars night. They have fireworks every single Friday night, I believe. So it's just a good way to take the kids out of the house and just, go have a ton of fun for 2 to 3 hours, and you don't have to worry about coming up with something to do. Now, Hutto itself, the home prices. You can find a home for as low as $330,000 to $340,000. Again, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet. There's a particular community that I have helped 3 families find a home, which is a little bit south of downtown Hutto, and you're only 5 minutes from HEB. You have a Gold's Gym within 5 minutes. You have a Costco 10 minutes, 12 minutes, and then you have a ton of shopping within 10 to 12 minutes. So Hutto is definitely a good destination. And I don't know how much longer it's going to be affordable because of all the things that are coming to the area. Tesla just bought a brand new warehouse space. So keep that in mind, but you can still find homes for as low as $330,000, $40,000, and then above that. I have a family that actually found me on YouTube. And if you want to do the same, make sure to reach down to the number in the email below so that we can help you do the same. But they are currently under contract. They're buying a brand new home in Hutto, Texas. Beautiful 2,000 square feet home, 4-bedroom, 3 full bath. And they were able to get a 6% incentive. So approximately $27,000 towards the purchase of their home that they could either use for their closing costs or they could either use to buy down the rate. Now, keep in mind that all these promotions could go at any moment in time. So when I mention them, that doesn't mean that these promotions are gonna stay for much longer. Now, they do come and go with the builders. You know, 1 week they may have a promotion, the next week they may have a different promotion, but keep that in mind. When I mention it on the video, they may not have the same promotions. So, but yeah, this family was able to lock that in. Another big thing about Hutto that a lot of people don't know about is that you can find homes on 1 acre lots, 3/4 of an acre lots, and above that. So that is also another option. If you're not a first-time home buyer and you're looking for a little bit of space, that is definitely an option for you. And one of the things that also people don't talk about Hutto is the downtown area. It's pretty small, but it reminds me a little bit, well, I wouldn't say it reminds me of Georgetown, but it's definitely very quaint. There's a lot to do. They have a ton of restaurants and some amenities for you and the kids, but you should definitely check that out. There's also the co-op area, which is just right next to the downtown Hutto, where more commercial space and more stores are supposed to come to the area. And then of course you can't forget about the Hutto Hippo, which, you know, make sure to check out my vlog about Hutto where I talk about the history behind the Hutto Hippo, but you will find all these statues all around the city representing the mascot for the city itself. So again, I think Hutto is one of my favorite suburbs, up and coming suburbs, because one, the affordable nature of the city. You can find homes for as low as $330,000. It is up and coming. It is very family oriented. My sister actually lives in Hutto, Texas, and she loves it. School districts are solid. And again, if you're somebody that is more on the investor mindset, you're looking to ride that appreciation wave, or you want to make sure that this big investment that we all make buying a home is going to hold its value over time, this is definitely a city to consider. Guys, so as you can see, the common theme throughout these cities is the affordability. So yes, Austin has definitely become more expensive. You can definitely rent a house for a lot lower than you can buy a home. But if you're tired of paying rent, if you're tired of not being able to own your own house and creating your own home for you and your family, these are definitely 3 options that you should consider when it comes moving down to the Austin area. In fact, I helped a family from New Jersey that they told me, hey, Julio, in New Jersey, we just can't buy a home. We're just not gonna be able to afford a house. So my husband decided to transfer his job down to Austin. He was able to find a job. They found me on YouTube and then they called me to the email or the number below. And we were able to find them a home in Maynard, Texas for $360,000. All closing costs covered, all appliances included in the home. And they were amazed how fast we were able to find it, how close it was to his job, and the fact that it was much, much lower to what they could find up in New Jersey, which is a lot more expensive. So again, yes, Austin is the most expensive city in Texas, but it is definitely a better option if you're coming from the Northeast or Chicago or California. You can definitely find options for as low as $300,000 or below that. So that is the theme of today's video. Is if you're a first-time home buyer and you don't think that you can afford a house, we can definitely at least try to find you some options. And yes, I'm not here to touch on the reality that rent is definitely more affordable than buying a home. But if you are able to, if your credit is in order, if you're financially ready, mentally ready to make this purchase, we can definitely find you options for you to become a homeowner and start creating value in your house. And then that first home can definitely allow you to buy that second home. And then that second home can definitely allow you to buy the third home. Because if we look at an appreciation table, right? let's say that you buy a home for $350,000, right? And we're looking at an average of 3.5% appreciation year over year. You should have in that home, and let me do some math real quick. Okay, I'm back. I did some math. So I'm looking at this handy home appreciation calculator. So let's say that you purchase a home for $350,000. If we look at an average appreciation of 3.5% year over year, it could be less or it could be more than that. And as we know, in Austin, it could be way more than that. You are looking after short 5 years. Let's say you buy this first home, but you eventually want to be closer to Austin, or you eventually want to be in another area. In short 5 years, you can have $65,000 worth of equity in the home. That equity, you can use it for a down payment on a bigger home. You can definitely buy a $700,000 home or an $800,000 home. Obviously, you don't have to go that big. The point that I'm trying to make is that you can definitely use that value that you have in that home or go in onto a bigger home or a home closer to where you want to be. And this is based on an initial investment of anywhere between $11,000 to $15,000 or maybe $20,000, which is how much you have to put down on your first home. Again, this is all estimated. This is also taken into account if the builder pays for your closing costs, and the only thing that you have to bring to the table is your down payment. This is all very hypothetical, but this is the possibility, is that you can turn that very small investment of $10,000 to $15,000 into $65,000 in 5 years. So again, if you are looking to buy your first home and this isn't your final home, and it doesn't have to be, this is definitely a great option. These are definitely 3 top cities that you should consider moving to, and then eventually turn that value into your second home or your third home. Guys, I hope you really enjoyed that video about the top 3 cities if you're looking to buy your first home and you have a limited budget. We were talking about Hutto, Texas, Kyle, Texas, and Maynard, Texas. If you have any questions about where to go look for these houses, what the current prices are, make sure you reach down below to the number in the email, and we'd be more than happy to help you through the process. Also, keep in mind that all the numbers that I share with you are subject to change. All the promotions that I share with you are subject to change. And that little scenario about how much appreciation you can expect in 5 years is also subject to change, because we cannot control the economy or the market. But overall, that is a very, very conservative appreciation, and we're expected to either have way more than that or right about that. So keep that in mind, but the power of real estate is real. And if you're looking to buy your first home, make sure to reach down to the email and the number. But until next time, adios.